Hello everyone, I'm Star Smiley. It was a little bit late, but that's okay. On the left we have SoaringSloth, and on the right we have CreatorCreepy. SoaringSloth's PB is a 2810, while CreatorCreepy's PB is a 2859, so it should be a close race. So first off, just to mention, as I'm sure most of you are familiar, we use Japanese. It's only saves about 5 seconds during the run, but it's very accessible. You just have to change a menu setting, and there's not much to memorize in terms of languages, so there's no reason really not to use it. So anyways, we get this little introduction. We have to create our character, and then Toby tells us to go heck ourselves. And for those familiar with Undertale, I'm sure you remember some parts of it. Well, this is one of the parts of it that he kind of put over in Deltarune. We could just kind of skip the first cutscene. Like, we could just go straight to bed and fall into the dark world. So the first thing you'll notice is that they both grab the shiny thing the first second they enter the dark world. This is called the wrist protector. Thank God for Toby. He put this in so pressing C or left control instantly mashes text at 15 text boxes per second. The problem is this game runs at 30 text boxes per second, but it's still not a big deal. It's still pretty useful. So what we do to accommodate for that, to make up for that, we spam Enter and Z back and forth to try and make up for those lost text boxes. Try and catch up on that. The interesting thing about the wrist protector, there's an in-game timer that starts the second the game is booted up, and as soon as the game reaches 8 minutes in-game time, the wrist protector is gone, which is why you may not have noticed it on your casual playthrough for those that have played it. So this is an interesting game, interesting series, I should say, because Undertale had aspects of this too. It's an RPG mixed with a bullet hell that you'll see right here. There's two parts of this that we're gonna go through at the moment. The first one, you do not want to get hit because it slows you down. It also hits you on HP, which is not a huge deal. And the second part, you don't have to really dodge it unless you want to save your HP or something. Doesn't really matter if you dodge it or not. It doesn't lose any time, thankfully. So yeah, this game is also filled with tons of puzzles. And we're gonna see it a little bit later, but you'll notice that we can actually skip all the encounters, but I'll explain it more later. Alright, so we're gonna have an option to hear a story, and because we're time travelers, we're gonna say that we already heard it. And then Lancer comes in, and we're gonna beat him up because he's kind of mean to us. And this is where you can actually start saving a little bit amount of time. There's as you see, they're fighting Lancer. You want to get exactly in the center to get 3 quads. Not quads. Hits. I'm sorry, Undertale. 3 hits. If you can get 3 perfect hits, then you can 3-turn Lancer. If you don't, then you'll get 4-turn or higher. Now, as you saw, SoaringSloth was a bit behind CreatorCreepy, but he made it up with 3-turn Lancer, which is pretty nice. It actually saves quite a bit amount of time. So anyway, Susie leaves us because she's also quite mean. All the characters in this game is pretty mean except for Elsa. So we're gonna leave this town, and we're gonna go to well, first we're gonna skip this tutorial because we just fought Lancer. We know how to fight already. Shut up, Elsa. And we're gonna go into the fields, which is also a bit of a tutorial-like section where we'll get more into the encounter skips. So the first one is coming up on SoaringSloth's side. For every single encounter in game, you could just kind of run past them. Like if you do it in a way that you can just keep running without slowing yourself down, you could just do it in a way that angles it so you don't get hit by them. You could just slide right past them. The only case is different is when the last encounter skip in the game, which we'll encounter later. So you saw they got the first 2 skips. There's a lot of encounter skips in this game, so it wouldn't be surprising if one failed them. So here, we're gonna spare them. We're gonna spare these happy things. I'm not even sure what they're called. And we want to get hit by the first one on purpose, since Lancer tells you why aren't you getting hit if you don't get hit. So if you get hit, you save a little bit amount of time, and since he doesn't say that in the text. Just a pretty neat trick. Anyway, Susie decides to join our party. I'm not even really sure why I played this game once in English, and so I can't remember. But the music is pretty nice. Anyway, so we have to solve some puzzles. It's basically just a timing puzzle. Hit the clock and then you have to do all those. You have to hit all those blocks. Sloth's PB is a 2810, and Creator's is a 2859. So you saw that little candy thing. You just basically hit it and it goes away immediately. So in this case, it's actually faster to hit them. It kind of goes back and forth in terms of, since this is a brand new game, we go back and forth on what terms it's faster or not, but I'm pretty sure this is still faster. You want to hit, the first 2 with Rouse, Chris, and then Susie. Defend with Rouse and Chris, and then just hit with Susie since she insta-kills it. So we're going to solve this very hard puzzle. Just get the box onto the... Wasn't this a reference in Mother too? I'm pretty sure that was a thing. Anyways, this is a little bit difficult. We have to... And SoaringSloth pulls it off. You kind of just go to the left a little bit to get some speed and then dodge around it. Yeah, and that one's a bit difficult. CreatorCreepy unfortunately did not get it. Alright, so that skip that you saw SoaringSloth did, that was quite difficult. You have to move purposely around the checkerboard, because like any stop slows you down, and that Palm Man is just very fast. That encounter skip is quite difficult. So let's see if Creator gets it as well. His was much cleaner than SoaringSloth's, which is good. So for this one, it's interesting. You just kind of walk right across and then dodge the last one. Kind of dumb, but whatever. And this one is actually much easier. You can make a lot more mistakes because for some reason they're a lot slower than the first one. All right, so we're gonna see, I believe, the only RNG in the game. So before, you may have seen them intentionally get Susie hit. The reason for this is for this fight. So Susie automatically does this attack. Like, you literally cannot stop it, and obviously it hinders this fight. So if you kill Susie, then she doesn't attack it. And you save some time. But K-Round doesn't always do that. Yeah, I have gotten it like twice. Very mean to me. And you just have to, like, what is it, bow? It's bow, right? Yeah, bow. Bow until the crown falls off its head. Like I said, I don't really remember. I played in English literally like one time. So anyway, let's see. SoaringSloth got that time save, but CreatorCreepy did not. Even if Susie dies now, it doesn't save any time. Especially because of that healing thing they did. You could skip that if you kill Susie before then, but it doesn't really save time afterwards. So in SoaringSloth's side, we're going to enter Forest. You saw that encounter. You could just kind of like go in there, like go towards the snow cap thing. I don't even know what it's called. And just run into it and then back up before it goes out because it just kind of slides down and doesn't come back. We're gonna dodge these lasers. Didn't get that trick. There's a trick that if you go into it in a certain pixel, you cannot get damaged by those lasers. Alright, the first red box or skip. You just go down and it'll go right past you. Like, it literally does not pay attention to you at all. Now we're gonna get the cat. Now we're not gonna really kill it or like do the actions on it. We're just gonna read it the manual like 2 times and it instantly spares them. We're not really sure why, but it does that. It works. So we're gonna get to another difficult skip. Red blocks are the second skip. It's you have to go like in a pretty specific path or otherwise the blocks will notice you. Like you don't have much room for screwing up, like at all. But SoaringSloth gets it. X1 isn't nearly as difficult, but we'll get to that when we see it. Let's see if Creator gets it. I'm guessing they're saving for safety, since if you don't save, then you're stuck. You're at the beginning of the game again. Yeah, you want to go like to the very edge of the, like the very right and then the very left of the walkway in order to avoid it. And you see right here that he's going through the, is that a stick man? I'm not even really sure what that is. The stick man. And it's just faster. Like there is a little risk if you're at low health, since Chris usually has low health there, and it can just, and if Ralsei also gets hit an extra time, then they both die. So it can be quite risky, but time save is pretty big. So now we're going through the maze. Very difficult maze. Could just go right past most things. So this is the next blocker skip. Since they first skip the first blocker, it's gonna go after you very quickly. So you wanna like go to the right and wait like a second, like half a second, and then go up in order to avoid it. And then SoaringSloth also gets it again. Let's see if Creator gets it. Alright, so for SoaringSloth slide, we're going on a fight with Susie and Lancer. So what you want to do is force... There's several different ways you can do it, which is why I'm like hesitating right now. What you want to do, what you optimally want to do is to try and convince Lancer twice. Have Susie go to sleep and then convince Lancer twice again. I believe that's the optimal way, but SoaringSloth is not going for that. And that'll end the fight in 5 turns, theoretically. So anyways, Susie and Lancer both join your party now, which is pretty nice. And then we get a bunch of dialogue on how happy they are. By the way, the convince is just trying to convince Lancer to join their party or to give up or whatever. The reason I make Susie fall asleep is because her attacks are pretty long by itself. So having her go to sleep, and I also think it makes Lancer easier to convince, but I'm not entirely sure on that. Anyways, now Creepy also got Lancer and Susie to join them. Now they're going on a nice little walk. Anyways, Lancer ditches them because he's kind of mean, and then we all go after him. some reason. And we get another bullet hell. Again, you try and want to avoid all of these, as them hitting you slows you down. It's not by much time, but adding all of it together, it adds up to quite a bit amount that you don't want to lose. Same thing with this one. And this one's a little bit more difficult. I feel because it's up and down. And the attacks are a lot longer. And SoaringSloth didn't get hit, but slowed a little bit at the end, but that's not a big deal. Let's see how Creator does. So anyways, another captured. Interesting thing, there's 4 things you can interact with in the cell. It doesn't count for what you interact with. So you can just interact with the one thing 3 times and it'll count. So here we're going to get the shackle. It can be done for 2 things. One, if you don't get head happy skip, it's a possibility that using the shackle you can just do a 2-turn instead of the usual easier 3-turn. That, and it makes the king fight a lot quicker, which we'll get to as soon as we get there. No, this is not pre-PC Undertale, definitely not. I remember those days. It was so bad. There was nothing. Like, it was all down to mashing. Like, if you couldn't mash well, you were screwed. So anyways, SoaringSloth is going to enter the fight with Lancer, which is basically just an auto-scroller. One thing I did not mention, I should have, is that if the more TP you collect, the faster the fight goes. So like, not in that way, but like it doesn't go fast for each turn. But if you collect TP, the round will end sooner. So try to collect TP if you can. But after a certain amount of turns with Lancer, you just can't do anything. All attacks will be dodged because Lancer tries to get them out of the way. So just collect as much as you can. And then to just immediately attack. So yeah, as you see, also this is banger music, by the way. I have no idea if it's hearable. I don't have the audio on, but this is probably the best song in the game. And then yeah, just her attacking Lancer over and over again. Also, another thing to note, since it's important in the king fight, if you attack, at least for this one, it automatically goes up by like about 5 or 6% TP. There is a possibility of a glitch in this game. We think that the manual may serve as an actual punch card in the full game, but we're not entirely sure yet. So anyways, Susie and Lancer make up. They do a kiss, and they go to fight his dad. SoaringSloth is quite a bit ahead of Creepy right now, but that can easily be fixed by either the king fight or head happy skip. I'm not entirely sure if one of them goes for it. So anyways, they leave and they go into the elevator, which is just another bunch of cutscenes of Susie starting to realize she's been an a-hole this entire time. I mean, original PC strats not... because most things were found within a day. Like, nearly everything was found within, like, the same few days that it was found. Anyways, you want to move down immediately upon leaving the elevator, so Susie will talk to you faster. Since you just have to go down in order to progress. Wrong warps and overflows have been found the first day they were created. It was found. So anyways, we have another skip here. There's another advanced skip, an advanced strat of that skip. But basically the easiest one is to go into the room, wait for the thing to go on the far right, and then go up. It'll just hit the wall and you can go right past it. Anyways, we meet this character to do a very difficult puzzle. It's like very hard. I don't know how people do it. And again, you go right through the lasers in order to get it in order to go faster. So anyways, in Head Happy skip, the most difficult skip in the game, you go right, left in order to build up speed, and then right again. And you have to like move in a very quick and precise way in order to have the most speed possible and in the quickest way, in the quickest route possible in order to get away from Head Happy. Creator did not get it either, put some money in the ground. So, what SoaringSloth did was he just fought the Head Happies over and over, which if you do it right is fine. It turns into a 3-turn. Unless you do it wrong, then it turns into a 4-turn. You can also spare them, which is also a 3-turn. I'm not sure which one saves time over the other, if it does it all. And then there's another strat, which you can spare the first halfie, hit the second halfie, spare the third halfie, and then hit the second halfie, I believe it is. So anyways, you saw SoaringSloth go to the shop and get an axe, which is also helpful for the king. Makes it a lot faster. So anyways, we're gonna hit the crown off its head. You want to go as high as you possibly can. That'll get it up, because the higher you have a more likely chance of hitting him higher than lower. And hitting it lower makes it take longer. If you did it right, it'll take like 3 turns, which you saw with SoaringSloth. So let's see if Creator can keep up, because he needs a time save. Alright, that was a bit close. Any lower and probably wouldn't have made it. You also do want to heal here, because the fight can be a bit of a tricky fight if you're not very good at dodging. Now for the king fight, there's a few strats you can do here. I'm going to go into a little bit earlier. You can just attack head on and use Rude Buster, Red Buster, or you could just outright defend. You just defend over and over until the fight's over. No, actually, not until the fight's over. I believe you use defense strats in order to get your TP up, since you need TP to use Rude and Red Buster. So anyways, you want to try and get TP also from the attacks in order to use Susie's attack, which does the most damage, along with the axe and the shackle, and also spamming enter and Z makes the attack a lot more. Like it does a lot more damage. So as you can see, 347 damage, that's pretty good. So that'll make the fight go a lot quicker. Another aspect of the fight is that obviously you want to try and get as many perfect hits as possible, which can be pretty difficult. You especially want to focus on Ralsei, I'll say, because he has the least attack out of all of them. Like, his attack is pretty horrible. Horrible in the jungle fight. The best you can do here is, I believe, a 9-turn, which, again, similar to Undertale, is you could do a 9-turn here. Which is very nice, but not a lot of people get that, so that's okay. Now, I believe that, honestly, I'm pretty sure SoaringSloth is using Rude Buster while Creepy is using Red Buster. And Red Buster uses less damage. Does less damage. Anyways, SoaringSloth finished the fight. There's not really much else that can go wrong that'll cause SoaringSloth to lose. Besides game crash, I guess. I hope that didn't do anything. But didn't. Okay, so my bad. It's SoaringSloth was doing Red Buster and Creator was doing Rude Buster. My bad. And Red Buster does more damage than Rude Buster. He can lose time, but it's not going to be nearly enough to let Creator get ahead. Anyways, the king tries to beat us up because he's mean, and Susie helps us for once in her life. That's a good point. I didn't notice it since I was also paying attention to Sloth at the same time. Apparently, Creator did not get the axe or shackles. Which, yeah, it saves time because you don't have to get them. But, like, it doesn't match up to the time saving get from the king fight. Anyway, there's two endings to this game. The one where the king just falls asleep, and one where the people of the land rise against their king. We got the one where we fell asleep because we were kind of mean to the villagers and stuff. Anyway, Ralsei reveals he's a girl, and we go home. I mean, it's some sick music, and then it creates a portal for us to go home or something. I'm not really sure. Sloth's PB is a 2810, and Creator's PB is a 2859. So anyways, yeah, it's just mashing left. And we just have to get out and then just go back to our house. Like, the trickiest part is getting into the bed. A lot of people screw that up, surprisingly. This could be a 27. Oh yeah, not 27, but this could be a 27. It could be a PB for Sloth, actually. And possibly one for Creator as well. Ooh. Anyway, so we just go back to the house as quickly as possible. We just kind of stick up to the edges to where we're going to go. We might get a PB for both of them, which is pretty fantastic if you ask me. Yeah, we're going to get PB from Sloth. A 2742. Nice. Congrats to Sloth. That's impressive. Nice PB. 27. Sub me. I'm sad. Alright, we're gonna get another PB from Creator as well. Ends with a 2820. Congratulations to both of you. Sloth is ultimately the winner, but both of you got a PB, which is very impressive for a tournament run. Congratulations to both. Let's see if either of them want to come in for an interview, or both of them. Both would be nice. Hello,
Hey.
Sloth.
What's up? Oh man, my heart was racing the entire time.
Yeah, you both PB. That's pretty impressive. How did you?
Yeah.
How'd you guys
Oh
feel?
man. I'm not gonna lie. I was very nervous throughout the entirety of the run. I didn't even expect the PB, but I mean, when it comes, I guess, to like speedrunning, I'm more concentrated when I'm not like multitasking, when I'm like, you know, talking at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I mean, I did a run with, I believe, somebody else. I think his name was Mr. Link, but it was more of like, you know, like a little bit more of like a casual race. And well, I mean, we talked the entire way, and well, he PB'd, but I lost my focus throughout the entirety of it and like finished with like 30 minutes. So I can see where my weakness lies.
Yeah, focus is very important for us. Creator,
Yeah.
how did you feel?
Yeah, I PB'd by, what is it, about 20 seconds, so I'm
Yeah, you had
happy
a
with that.
28:59.
I had a really bad field. I got caught on the last one right there before I entered
Yeah.
checkerboard, which ate up a lot of time.
I hear ya.
But a lot of it went really well. So, at least for me.
Also, did you not get the shackle and the axe?
I did get the axe. I did not get the shackle. I was actually talking about that before the race, where I noticed that I wasn't getting the shackle, and I didn't really have time to learn it, I'll say, but yeah.
Okay, that's understandable.
I think I got 10 turn king? I don't know exactly.
That's still a pretty good king, regardless.
It was a pretty good king, yeah. I know that shackle helps a lot, but
yeah, it helps with like the, you know, the extra boosted damage, at least with Root Buster Red. So, yeah, I'm.
Comments on your runs?
I mean, I still need to work on head happy skip and all that, but I mean, that's like my last major skip I need to work on. But aside from that, it's all optimization from here. So,
anything from you, Creator?
yeah, I have to. It's just consistency, I think, because there's a lot of things I can get through most of the stuff. It's just making sure that I can get it on each run, and so for a race, that's really difficult because you don't have restarts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be consistency and also figuring out king, because I haven't learned the red strats yet. I've only done the Rude Buster strats, so it'll be a matter of learning that, I think.
Anyways, that was a very good race. I hope that everyone enjoyed it. I certainly did. Like 2 PBs in a tournament, like I said before, that's very impressive, especially with how big the time saves were for those PBs. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyways, what is next? How do I check what's next?
Oh yeah, are there any more scheduled for tonight?
I can look it up. I want to see what's next. We have nothing next on. We have nothing on Speed Gaming 3, but we do have a Link to the Past, the Link to the Past tournament going on Speed Gaming 2.
Huh.
So that's worth to check out if you like a Link to the Past.
Alright.
Anyways, thanks for everyone who stopped by. We highly appreciate Speed Gaming for hosting our tournament. And if you're interested in learning Deltarune, don't hesitate to stop by our Discord or look on speedrun.com. There's a great guide made by Rambu. It's quite an easy game.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It's very lively. I love it.
So I think that's it.
Alrighty. I guess everyone has a good night, okay?
Good night, yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
Bye-bye.